Coming up new at 6 on KHQ Local News, a major northern pike problem in northeast Washington. Wildlife officials say they're bad for other fish, and now it's causing some controversy. Mike Perry will have the details. And Washington Forest Service officials say mudding is becoming a problem because it's tearing up meadows and wilderness roads. We'll have the details as KHQ Local News at 6 starts right now.
Celebrating 60 years of covering the Inland Northwest, your official home of the 2012 Summer Games. This is KHQ Local News at 6.
She just was saying, "Mom, just come home. Someone's here." The doors bashed in, and we heard footsteps upstairs, and just in tears, and please come home.
It is a nightmare phone call for parents. A child calling to say they're home alone and somebody's trying to break in. Good evening, I'm Dave Cotton in for Dan and Steph tonight. And that is exactly what happened this week in South Spokane County when a burglar broke into a home with 3 young children inside. It happened in the 12,100 block of South Valley Chapel Road. Chelsea Kopta spoke with the mother today and joins us live in the Interactive Center. Chelsea, good evening.
Hi, Dave. Good evening. Well, as you can imagine, this was a terrifying situation for this mom and her family. This mom, Melissa Bambach, had just taken her 2 sons to go get haircuts and left her 3 daughters at home when she says her 13-year-old called to say someone was trying to get inside the home. Well, while Melissa called 911, that brave and quick-thinking girl hid in a back bedroom along with her 9- and 7-year-old sisters. She says the suspect rang the doorbell several times, then she heard a loud sound. That turned out to be the man breaking into the home. While the girls were hiding, the man ransacked some of their belongings but got spooked and left. At that point, one of the girls looked out a window and saw a white man about 6 feet tall leaving alone in a truck.
My daughter, she's like, "Oh, I wish I could have seen the license plate or whatever." And I said, "Honey, you did exactly what you're supposed to do." And we had a plan, and she did it. And so I'm just really proud of her.
Now, Melissa says she stayed on the phone with her kids the whole time while she raced back home. And at first, Melissa did not think the burglar broke in because the front door was locked, but she quickly realized he had. The thief made off with a tea set, a laptop computer, and a camera, together valued over $1,000. Now, the kids described the truck as a smaller white truck with a black stripe down the side. And one of the kids thought there might also have been a blue stripe inside the black stripe as well. Melissa also wants to encourage other parents out there to talk to their kids about what to do if someone comes to the door. Now, this is just the latest in a string of burglaries that the sheriff's office is calling a dramatic increase in residential burglaries over the past few months. This is a map of burglaries over the county. You can see they're happening all over the place, whether it's in the valley or North Spokane, or likely these are where the latest incident happened, but there's approximately about 35 there. And now the sheriff, Ozzie Knezovich, is holding a press conference on Monday to talk about all this and says this will not be tolerated. Reporting live in the Interactive Center, I'm Chelsea Kopta, KHQ Local News.
It is a scary situation, Chelsea. All right, well, Sheriff Knezovich is going to implement an emergency plan within the sheriff's office to combat this issue. As Chelsea mentioned, on Monday, the sheriff will share this plan with the citizens of Spokane County and reinforce what he says is his agency's commitment to ensuring the safety and security of all citizens in the county. All right, now to our other top story this evening, the weather, precip falling in various forms, yes, off and on all day. We even got some graupel in downtown Spokane.
A little bit of everything. I mean, I was driving to work this afternoon, and I literally hit all of the elements, from sun to clouds to wind to rain to snow to graupel finally in downtown.
All 4 seasons in one day.
Exactly.
Huh? Just about.
Why not? Let's bring it all on. I want to start out with a live look at the Spokane River, and we've been talking about this for the last couple of days. Running high, running fast, and it is extremely cold out there. And with temperatures on the rise, we are actually going to see more people wanting to get into the rivers and the streams, and I'm going to encourage you not to do that, because the temperatures that we're seeing these rivers run at cause hypothermia in very short amounts of time. So let's talk about the convective showers we've seen throughout the afternoon, and you can see we've still got some activity out there down towards up towards Elmira. Still a little bit of heavy downpour from time to time. The thunderstorms in general have wrapped up, and these showers are really going these showers are going to continue to collapse on themselves as we head into this evening. We are going to break all of this down, as well as your weekend forecast, Easter forecast, just ahead. Dave?
All right, Leslie, to North Idaho now, where hundreds of people living near Kokolala Lake have just one way in and out of town. That's after a small creek washed out a 100-foot stretch of road earlier this week. Now there's only one small bridge open in that area. County officials say that's now at risk of being washed out. Our Dylan Wollenhaus joins us live tonight. Dylan, what are county officials doing to make sure this doesn't happen again?
Well, hey Dave, good evening. They've actually requested the assistance of the Army Corps of Engineers to come in and help them rebuild that bridge, but I just found out a few minutes ago from the county's emergency manager that they don't meet the criteria for the Army Corps of Engineers to come in and do that. So obviously it's going to stress county crews much more to get that bridge fixed. Now check out this video, check out this small wooden bridge near the Kokolala Lake. Now it's the only thing that's allowing people living in the 260 homes in the west side of Lake Kokolala to get into town. Now you can see each bank of the road has some heavy erosion spots. Now people who live in the area tell me the water has gone down some, but county officials say it's still a major concern how fast the current is running. Now the emergency declaration in the county has been accepted by the state, so county crews plan on reinforcing this bridge early next week. Now I spoke with one homeowner who uses the bridge to get to work every day and hopes his neighbors won't be stranded.
We don't have a plan B. We're just, crossing our fingers and watching it very carefully. If it goes, hopefully if it goes, the Army can come in and put in a temporary bridge pretty quick. It's not a very long span. We live on the lake. We have a canoe. I guess we could get out that way.
Now we showed you this video on Tuesday, but this is the reason why there's only one way in and out of this area. These dramatic pictures shows the damage to Kokolala Loop from a small creek. County officials say it may be months before that stretch of road will be back open. However, some that live in the area say if they get stranded, they're already jokingly putting out the cry for help.
I don't know what we'll do. I really don't know.
Right. So maybe everybody that's watching us could bring us some food over.
You're crazy.
I found those two characters walking their dog along Lake Kokolala. Now, obviously, since the state or the county has declared a state of emergency, they're working with the state to pay 50% of the flood damage in the county. And again, they're going to try to get in there and fix that bridge sometime next week. Reporting live, Dylan Wollenhaus, KHQ, Local News.
And nice to see folks up there have a good attitude about things despite what has happened. All right, new information out of the Wenatchee Valley tonight. Forest officials say with springtime weather and the influx in outdoor activities, vehicles are causing some serious and long-lasting damage to roads, fragile soils, and other natural resources. Take a look. State officials say the areas of land that are getting scarred are the meadows, land around rivers, lakes, and streams in the Wenatchee, Leavenworth, and Lake Wenatchee areas of the Okanagan National Forest. Officials say it's because people are mudding. It's an activity where people drive their vehicles through those areas. Now, if you see people taking part in this activity, you're asked to call law enforcement in that area, 509-682-8090. All right, now the Spokane River is running high and fast, but that's not the only danger you'd face if you found yourself in the river. Katie Steiner joins us live with the details. Katie, good evening.
Good evening, Dave. I've been standing here holding this thermometer in the Spokane River for the past 20 minutes, trying to get a good accurate reading, and let me tell you, I'm freezing and I'm not even wet. Here, let's check out to see how cold that is. Look at that, about 36 degrees here in the Spokane River, and people are saying to stay away. People who know the Spokane River best have one message for anyone who wants to dive in.
If you're an inexperienced paddler or boater, you need to stay off the water right now. Period.
And for good reason. Cold water takes heat out of you 30 times faster than air does. And in this weather, you can get hypothermia in a matter of minutes.
This water temperature right now can kill you pretty fast.
This water was snow 48 hours ago. It's cold, it's fast, it's dangerous.
Right now, the river's flow is 26,100 cubic feet per second. That's 10 times the rate we see in the summer.
You'll be deluded into thinking it's safe because it's going to get sunny and warm out there this weekend and next week. And the first thing you want to do is run to the river.
Now you can see there are those two kayakers over there. They've been here the entire time we have for about a half an hour just kayaking through those rapids. Keep in mind, those are very skilled, trained kayakers. They know what they're doing. You can see they have helmets on, they have the proper material, they have the proper wetsuits, so they are used to getting wet and they're used to this kind of thing. Reporting live in Idaho, Katie Steiner, KHQ Local News.
All right, Katie, thank you. Well, the population of northern pike in the Pend Oreille River has skyrocketed apparently over the past few years. The predatory fish have been the popular catch for fishermen, but deadly for other species living in that river. It's become such a problem that the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife and the Kalispel tribe have now teamed up to try to get rid of them. Mike Perry has that story.
3212, male ripe.
You wouldn't call this the catch of the day.
696.
More like an unwelcome species being evicted from its current home.
Female, immature.
These are northern pike, a predatory fish first discovered in this area back in 2004. Fish managers say the population has exponentially increased over the past few years, and there could be as many as 10,000 now living in these waters.
At the same time, we've documented the decline of almost every other species in the reservoir.
The state and the Kalispel tribe deem this to be a major problem that could threaten the entire Columbia Basin. And in March, they started the first phase of removing these fish to more manageable levels.
We're trying to reduce the population by 87%.
They've set up more than a dozen nets throughout the Pend Oreille River, catching an average of 160 per day.
1918.
They're then processed before being composted into fertilizer. They can't donate the fish to be eaten because mercury levels are too high.
The population increased and so did fishermen.
But some people think the northern pike have been a blessing.
It's increased the boat traffic and the fishermen, 20-fold, easy.
John Campbell is the owner of the Pend Oreille Valley Sports Shop in Newport and would gladly give up a lot of the smaller native fish in the river so fishermen can reel in a much larger catch.
It's been really good for business, not just my business, but every business in town.
547.
But fish managers say this is something they have to do.
2366.
And it would be irresponsible not to address this issue.
We acknowledge how important this fishery has become to the local economy and to sport fishermen that enjoy fishing for pike. However, that comes at a huge cost to every other species in the reservoir, and there's risks to the rest of the Columbia River Basin.
Female, immature.
In Pend Oreille County, Mike Perry, KHQ Local News.
Now, Kalispel tribe says this project is the most efficient way to remove the fish quickly. However, they still encourage anglers to catch as many as they can. In fact, they're planning on holding the inaugural Northern Pike Derby later this summer. Still ahead on KHQ Local News at 6, the jobs report newly released. What it could mean for our economy is next. We'll explain.
And we wrapped up this week with another round of wild weather, but there is some good news on the way. Warmer temperatures and some sunshine. We'll break down your 6-day forecast after the break.